What's up, YouTube? I wanted to make a video here on the twin controller, kind of show you what the controller can do, and also do a small comparison between the twin controller and the dual controller on the new generation that came out for Jebao. Now, I'm currently running two WP40s on my 120-gallon reef build, using the twin controller. Now, the new generation, they go by the name of RW8 dual controller. They advertise the new generation as it being wireless, having the wireless controllers. The controllers are not really wireless. They are not like your MPs where they communicate with one another wirelessly. It's just pretty much with the new generation, you're going to get two controllers, and you are going to be able to run one as the master and one as the slave. So pretty much you're just going to be able to control both wave makers through one controller. Pretty much what you would be doing here with the twin controller. Now, one of the good things that both controllers have is the ability to be able to control the intensity and the power of the actual wave maker, which is one of the major problems that a lot of people were having with the first wave makers, first Jebaos that came out, where you just got the one controller with the one blue knob. A lot of people sometimes complain that the power head was too strong and there was no really way of controlling the actual intensity. So what people started doing, they actually started buying the power supply where you were able to actually switch through different voltage. So by lowering the voltage, that way you were able to lower the intensity when you were running the wave maker. With the new controllers, the twin and the new generation, that problem is solved because you can actually, you have control of the actual intensity, the power of the wave maker. Another big issue that people were having, they were complaining about, was the night sensor. You actually had to install the night sensor on the old models. They used to say that it was too sensitive, that it used to break. With the new generation and the twin controller, the night sensor works perfectly, and it comes already installed inside the controller, so it works really good. Now, it's really preference from every individual. I mean, a lot of people like the newer toy on their tank, but for people that are already running the old WPs, this would be a great option, the twin controller. With the new generation, to be honest, guys, the controllers brings the same exact thing as the twin controller. The same thing you're going to be able to do with the dual controllers in the new generation. The same exact thing you're going to be able to do here with the twin controller. Nothing changes. They have the same exact options and controllability for the wave maker. The same thing. The only thing that changes is the actual design or look on the actual wave maker changes. But as far as what you can do with the controllers is the same exact thing. Now, me personally, I prefer the twin controller because it's just one controller. It's less wires I have to run through my stand. Less wires I have to plug. It's just one controller, and I get to control both wave makers just with this one controller. On the other hand, with the new generation, you have two controllers. You need to get an outlet to connect that second controller, find a space for that second controller, run more wires for that second controller. So me personally, I prefer the less amount, wires I have to run through. For me, it looks more neat. And then the less amount of equipment I have to mount in my cabinet saves me space. So it's just pretty much preference. But as far as functionality, guys, is the same exact thing. So let's go ahead and run through the options and show you what the controller can do. Alright, so I have my controller installed here on the side of the tank. We press the feed button once. That's gonna turn the wave makers off for 10 minutes. You'll see your 10-minute light there turn on. At the end of the 10 minutes, they will automatically turn back on to the settings you had them on. If you want to turn them back on before time, all you have to do is just press the feed button once again and they'll turn back on. If we go ahead, the button right here that says night, if we hold that down, this light right here will turn on that says night, indicating that your night mode is on. When you're on night mode, at nighttime, your power heads will turn down to the lowest power setting, and they will automatically also switch over to H, which I'll explain the modes in a little bit. There's your light sensor. Works perfect. I've had no issues with it. Now, if you want to turn the your night mode off, same thing. All you have to do is just press the button again, hold it down. Light turns on, off, indicating that your night mode is off. Now you also have a lock button here that you can hold down. This light over here will turn on, indicating that your controller is locked. That way your settings won't get moved. The knobs down here, the blue one, this is going to allow you to control how slow or how fast you want your waves. The gray one here will help you control the timing. The wave makers are going to work with each other. Now, I did notice two differences with the new generation. You don't get this option here to control the timing. They have incorporated everything just in one knob where you're going to control your waves. And also with the twin controller, you get an additional mode, which is W3. With the new generation, all you get is W1, W2, and then all these other modes here. So you can say you get a little bit more with the twin controller. Let's go ahead and turn the power heads on. There you go. Now over here with P1 and P2, these buttons are going to help you control the actual power or intensity on the wave maker. P1 referring to a wave maker number 1 here. P2 referring to wave maker number 2 on the other side. Now if we press them, you'll see how the bars start increasing. That would be going up, increasing your power. They're at 100%, and then turning it back down to the lowest power setting. The same thing with P2. Increase our power, and we can also lower it. Now let's go here. If we press here the mode button, we'll get into our first mode, which is wave 1. W1 is one of my favorite settings. It's a pretty strong setting. You have to be careful. You can start splashing water out of your tank. In wave 1, you're going to see that your propellers on the wave makers are going to start pulsating. They're going to be turning on and off. If we turn our knob here to the lowest setting, you're going to see how the propeller takes a longer time on, creating that slower wave. As we increase the speed on it, you're going to see how the propeller starts turning on and off a lot quicker. Then of course we can also adjust the power on the wave maker, and also adjust the timing with one another. So if you take a look over here, you see how now the propeller starts turning on and off a lot quicker to start creating that wave. So that's W1. If we hit the mode button again and we go into W2, W2 is going to be a combination of stream and wave, meaning P2, your power head number 2, on the other side is going to constantly be on. So all we do for that one is adjust the power we want it running at. and then P1, which would be this one, is going to be running in wave mode. So we'll adjust the wave for that one. We take a look over here. You'll see how the propeller on that one is turning on and off because it's on wave mode. And then your other power head over here is constantly on in stream mode. So that's W2. And then of course for W2 all we do is adjust power for our constant flow and the wave and power for the one that's on wave mode. On W3 here, it's just going to be a constant flow. Both power heads are going to be constantly on, just ramping up from 100 down to 30% and ramping back up, ramping back down. So it's just a constant flow automatically on both power heads, ramping up and down. So on that setting, we pretty much don't touch any of the buttons down here. It's just an automatic setting. If we go here on else mode is pretty much also an automatic setting. We don't press any of the buttons or knobs down here. Else mode is probably a setting I'll put a couple of minutes before I do a water change. It's also probably a good mode for larger tanks. Else mode is pretty much just going to take you through all your settings and all your power settings. It's going to run your pumps both at 100, then one at 50, one at 100, one in wave, one in stream, one on, one off, both in wave. So it's a random flow. It stirs the water up pretty nice in the tank. So you can see the tank starting to go crazy there. So let's switch it over to the next mode. H mode. It's going to be a constant flow. Both power heads are going to be constantly on. So all we're going to do for them is just adjust the power we want them running at. And that's about it. So it's just both power heads on the whole time, and we just adjust the power we want on them. Now H mode is the mode that it's going to switch to when you have it on night mode. It's going to switch automatically over here to H, so that's going to have both of your power heads on, and then it's going to switch down to the lowest power setting. That's the setting it's going to switch to when you have it in night mode. We go to C mode. C mode is another one of my favorite settings. That's what I'm currently running on the tank, and this mode is pretty much well, P1 is on, and then P2 is off. So while P1 is ramping down to turn off, P2 turns on, and vice versa. All we're gonna do for these is adjust the power we want them running at, and then the timing we want them switching from one another. So while P1 is on, P2 is off. Then while P2 is off, P1 starts working. So that's about it, guys. Hopefully this helps you out in case you already have Jebaos and you were considering getting the new generation because of the functionality. All you have to do is just get the twin controller. You get a little bit more. It's the same exact functions you're gonna get with the new generation. So hit that like and subscribe. Till next time, thank you for watching.